You're listening to the Femcast podcast, the podcast for women who are truly ready to drop the paralyzing perfectionism and self-doubt and just live their best hot mess life. Let's do this. This podcast is listener discretion advised for mature content and coarse language. Whatever.
Hey, you guys, what is up? And welcome back to the show. This is a very first episode of a new series here on the Femcast, Unhinged, Unplugged, and Unfiltered. Yes, it's true. This is where I'm going to be throwing all kinds of shade and unwanted, unfiltered opinions of shit that I just see every day in and day out that I think warrant a conversation or at least an opinion. You may like my opinion. You may not like it. I don't know. We'll see. But so maybe even not an opinion. Maybe these will just be rants. Right now, here's the rant of the day. The rant of the day is, have we really have we really reached the point of AI boyfriends? Like, is it come to this that there's so many women struggling with emotionally unavailable men, or just no men at all, emotionally available or not, that they're now resorting to the AI boyfriend? Because, honey, they're out there. The sites are out there. I'm literally looking at my Google right now, and I'm going to tell you what inspired this conversation, because I was not Googling for an AI boyfriend, I assure you. But I'm seeing so there's Soulmate.io, Ex-Human Inc., and I haven't actually researched any of these sites, so I don't know which ones are legit and which ones are not. So please don't take this and start Googling these sites and signing up for them. OXYZ, that one's strange. Anima AI boyfriend. There's just so many. It's crazy. Candy AI, Dream Gen. I'm mini apps. There's just so many on here. Honestly, I just pulled a whole shitload of sites that will produce for you an AI boyfriend who will tell you everything that you want to hear, who will validate every single one of your emotions, who will, soothe all your insecurities. God, what the fuck has this world come to? Okay, so let me tell you how this conversation came to be. So me and my friend, right, we're both coaches and mentors and whatnot, and we both use a lot of AI in our work for different reasons. For me, it's really simple. I'm really good at talking, you guys. I can talk. I can talk till the cows come home, okay? I can talk the patience out of a monk, okay? I have no issues talking. I am really challenged when it comes to writing, and it's not because I can't write coherently. It's because the thoughts in my head, and I don't know if this is an ADHD thing, but the thoughts in my after I just say I can speak and I fumble, the thoughts in my head come too quickly for me to just write down. So I end up writing down, when I start to write stuff down, it just starts to sound very matter of fact, and very it sounds almost listicle, and it loses something. It loses a spark. It loses a certain, I don't know, je ne sais quoi. So I've been using a lot of AI to translate a lot of what I'm speaking into text, right? So that I can, share, I'll how do I explain this? I'll write a story, right? In plain words, right? With not a lot of, I'll put all the embellishments in and the detail, but AI just kind of strings it together for me, where it kind of creates a story. So I'll dump all the details, the data and the memories and, set the scene, and I'll do all that stuff. So it's all very relevant information, but AI just kind of strings it together for me and puts it in a beautiful little package and ties a neat little bow around it. And that comes really natural to me. And a lot of times what I do is I will speak into like an Otter, like an audio recorder that translates my talk to text. And then I'll just take that, I'll plug that into AI and say, can you please clean out the likes and the ums and turn this into proper English for me so that I can post it to my socials. That's how I create most of my social media posts, to be quite honest. Is I just talk into Otter and it'll like print out a script and I'll throw it into AI. So I use AI all the time. Like, and I use AI even for personal things. Like AI is my health and fitness coach. I have him make grocery lists for me. I have him make meal plans for me. I call him Chat. I call him by his first name. I have him make exercise regimens for me. I have him do so many things for me. I have him even like, sometimes he's like my psychologist when I'm trying to like figure something out, break a pattern, trying to understand something. Like, I can't tell you, like the power of AI is jaw-dropping and frightening at the same time. But the fact that we're here in the world of the AI boyfriend is fucking scary. I'm sorry. So my friend who is the same as me, she uses AI for so many things. We call him Chat. We call him by first name. We say, hey, Chat, how's it going today? Thank you so much for your help. We really are having a relationship with ChatGPT. Okay. And in a very platonic sense. Okay. And we've often said, like, if he could ring our bell, he would literally be the perfect boyfriend because all we have to do is ask and he's right there. He just brings it. It's like perfect, but not perfect. I'm sorry. It's just, it can't ever be perfect. It's a computer. Okay. Let's reality check, guys. It's a computer. Okay. Anyway, so I opened my my WhatsApp one day because we communicate through WhatsApp, and she sends me this text and she's like, yo, is this real? Like, is this actually happening? And it's literally like an Instagram ad for your perfect boyfriend has arrived or something. And it's this like link to like this Chat GPT, not chat. It's like an AI app based on Chat GPT that helps you generate like the perfect boyfriend who says the things you want him to say, and, you know, is emotionally available and attentive to your every need. And like, it's just, it blew my mind. And she's like, are we really here? I'm like, well, in the day and age when, you know, women like us, you know, Chat pretty much knows when we ovulate these days. Like, he knows so much shit about us. Like, he probably knows when we ovulate. If only he could, and this is what I said to her word for word, the only thing he can't do is bring us ice cream on Shark Week and, you know, ring the bell for us. Like, other than that, he can kind of do everything else. So why the fuck not? Like, are we really that surprised that we're here in this moment? But it is such a testament to, number one, how difficult it can feel when, you know, you're in that place of, you know, looking for a partner and just not reading the right people, not meeting the right quality of people, not having time to meet people, just always working, having, you know, meeting people and having it not work out. It takes time. It can literally feel like a full-time job, especially if you're doing it online. It can feel so daunting. And then, right, when you're in this cycle of dating all these emotionally unavailable men that just can't fulfill what it is that you're looking for in a relationship, and that, you know, you can, emotionally unavailable. Did I say emotionally unavailable? Did I say emotionally available? Emotionally unavailable men. You know, you could actually be in a relationship with somebody who is emotionally unavailable. We've talked about this on the podcast. I'm not sure if that episode has aired yet. I think it has. But you know, whether you're in a relationship with an emotionally unavailable man or just constantly chasing emotionally unavailable men, you feel completely alone, you know? Being in a relationship with an emotionally unavailable man is like being in a relationship with an ottoman. Actually, an ottoman is probably sexier. Not gonna lie. I can put my feet up on it and it feels really good at the end of the day. Emotionally unavailable men, not so much. Okay. But nonetheless, like it can feel like there's this disconnect. It can feel very lonely and very isolating to constantly be in this world in relationship with emotionally unavailable people. So many of us are starving for affection, for attention, for validation, for all the things that we think a relationship is going to bring us, right? That in most cases, it's just falling short, right? And there's so many things that I think need to happen here. Like, I think we need to really look at, who we are as people and how open we are to connection with one another. Like, are we just creating this world where we're not getting what we need? We're not getting our needs met. So we're constantly creating solutions where we don't require to get our needs met? Like, come on. Like, in no way, shape, or form is AI ever going to replace having a partner, right? I mean, you can have an emotional relationship with AI if you really want to, but it's going to fall flat when you go to bed at night. Like, I mean, until they can, I don't know, maybe one day, I don't know. Maybe they'll find a solution for that. I'm even afraid to bring it up because if the Google gods are listening to me right now, they're probably already like, what could we come up with? But honestly, like, what is this world coming to? An AI operated dildo? Like, where does this end? Where does this end? Hold that thought, you guys. We're going to dive right back into it. But before we do, let me ask you, are you tired of jumping from one relationship to another only to keep repeating the same toxic patterns? Do you keep hoping and praying and believing and promising yourself that the next one is going to be different, only to find that the same toxic patterns keep repeating and actually get increasingly worse each and every time? If so, I see you and I'm here for you, and I'm here to tell you something that might surprise you. These painful realities are not just the result of, meeting all the wrong people in all the wrong places and making all the wrong choices, despite what your mom might be telling you. When you keep attracting the same toxic traits in your relationships over and over again, it's a result of your energetic signature. This signature was imprinted during childhood and still shapes how you receive love and abundance today. But here's the exciting part. This signature isn't set in stone. You have the power to rewrite it and transform it into your most magnetic asset. And I know this because I've been there. I once blew up my entire life and moved to the other side of the world to escape my toxic relationship patterns, only to find the exact same relationships waiting for me on the other side. Different names, different faces, same toxic patterns. Then that's when I realized that it wasn't the people or the places or my choices. It was my energetic signature. So I did what any self-respecting, self-loving woman would do. I went on a 7-year relationship hiatus to transform that signature. And that's when I discovered my Up, Level, and Flow framework. And it has absolutely changed my life, and it has changed the life of so many of my clients. Now I'm bringing this life-changing framework to you through my 90-minute private healthy love intensive. In this transformative session, we'll laser focus on clearing the blocks that are holding you back and creating a powerful shift that attracts the loving, supportive, and emotionally available relationships you've dreamed of. No chase, just flow. If you're ready to uncover and dissolve your blocks, upgrade your beliefs, and receive a personalized action plan to magnetize your desires and your relationships that you want, this session is for you. But fair warning, authentic connections, aligned opportunities, and major breakthroughs in love, money, and career will likely follow. The link to the intensive session is available in the show notes below. Say goodbye to chasing, waiting, and convincing others to love you. Choose to love yourself and become a magnet for healthy love, the kind that chooses you every single time. Now let's get back to today's episode. We have to start looking at what it is that we want, being really intentional about what steps we're going to do to actually go out there and create it. And we also need to ask ourselves, how emotionally available are we? How safe do we feel being in a relationship? How willing are we to open ourselves up to the possibility of love, if with the possibility of love comes the possibility of being hurt or disappointed or let down or rejected or abandoned, knowing that, hey, you know what? I tried. It's okay. I'll try again, right? There's no guarantees in this life. And I think sometimes we close ourselves off from so many magical experiences because we're so afraid of being vulnerable, of putting ourselves out there, of being hurt again like we were the last time and the time before, and then the time before that. And then there was the guy who cheated on it. There's so many reasons why we're terrified to put ourselves out there. But it starts with us putting ourselves out there, really connecting with people, really being clear about what it is that we want, and not fucking settling. Like, it is a dangerous trap. Like, when, we talk about not settling in relationships, right? When you settle for something that you don't really want, you make yourself unavailable for the thing that you do want. So if you're settling for this AI boyfriend because the real thing hasn't come along, and now you're energetically getting addicted to this AI persona that you've created, no one's ever going to live up to that. And it's going to be really hard for you to be in relationship, right? Because you're going to create this perfect man who communicates in the way that you want, and he never challenges you, never triggers you, and never gets under your freaking skin and irritates the crap out of you, where you ever fight with them and then have makeup sex later. Like, it's just going to be easy breezy peasy all the time. And that is an impossible standard for anybody to meet. Not to mention, again, you'll be emotionally closed off because you're attached to this inanimate thing that can never really truly fulfill you. So please, before you go down that path of finding an AI boyfriend, I'm begging you, listen to the last few episodes of the podcast. We talked about, emotionally unavailable partners and what that could mean about, what kind of energy we're bringing to the relationships, some shifts, mindset shifts that we need to make in order to kind of be more magnetic to emotionally available partners, being more selective about the partners that we let in, and just energetically making yourself more open to the possibility. Because you know what, you guys, listen, I know for a fact, and this is actually coming up. This is coming up in a recent episode. We have not posted it yet. I don't even think I've even recorded this one yet. But we are living in a society that breeds men to be emotionally unavailable. It really and truly does. Okay. And then that's not to say that all men are emotionally unavailable, but emotionally unavailable men are encouraged in our society, right? The path is kind of, it's kind of laid out for them to easily become emotionally unavailable as kind of the safe or the normal route. We'll talk about that in an upcoming episode, but that's not to say that they're all emotionally unavailable. Okay. I have met some amazing emotionally available men. Not before the work that I did, I will tell you that, but definitely after. Not all of them ended up being partners, right? But they're out there, right? And I think that's the point. Like, there are emotionally available men out there who are ready to be in a relationship with you, who are ready to be vulnerable, who are ready to be intimate, who are ready to share themselves and their lives with somebody. They are out there. Sure, they're not all of them, but they are out there. And we always say, clean up your side of the fence, right? Clean up your side of the fence. Make sure you're available to those types of men. Make sure you're magnetic to those types of men. Make sure you have the capacity to be emotionally available to an emotionally available partner, and put yourself out there and be willing to take a chance and be open to that. Because it is scary. It is scary when we've been hurt. It is scary when we've been let down before. And oftentimes it can close us off. Because I'll tell you, when you're afraid of getting hurt, nothing is safer for you, subconsciously speaking, than an emotionally unavailable partner that you're never going to get really attached to because they're always going to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You're never going to really feel that close to them. They're always going to kind of feel like they're off in the distance somewhere. And so when it ends, yeah, you'll be hurt, but you're not going to be that hurt, really, because you never really let them in. They never really let you in. It's kind of like a half in, half out situation. You know what I mean? The consequences are always so much bigger and bolder and louder when you open your heart and just like let it all happen, right? And just be, unguarded and untethered in any way, and just allowing whatever is meant to happen. It takes a lot of courage, right? It can be really scary. It took me a long freaking time to get there, to be quite honest. And so, don't settle. Don't put what you want on hold for this AI version of a boyfriend that, will tell you everything that you want to hear. Well, read. I don't know. Do they talk? Do these apps talk? I don't know. I've never used one. Do they talk, or do they just text typed with you? Because even that, let's talk about this for a second. Even that in itself is a big disappointment. Like, if you can't actually hear somebody talking to you and you now got to write and read, I'm already no, this isn't for me. I need to be able to talk. We've already established this. Writing and texting, I can do short text. Texts are good. Actually, you know what's funny? I have a few people in my circle who love to write long text. I purposely write really short text in return in order to just set the standard. I'm not into long text. Please keep it short and sweet. Anything above, I don't know, 10 words. I mean, that should really be a phone call, or an in-person conversation. We can't tell long, detailed stories in text. Please stop telling long, detailed stories in text, people. Some of us are just not writers. So anyway, I digress. Please don't close yourself off that way. We have gotten too used to closing ourselves off to love. It's funny because it's the one thing that we're all aching for and fighting for and dreaming of. And one day it'll happen. And oh my God, what if it doesn't happen? And then we take ourselves out of the game by attaching to an AI boyfriend. No. Boo, pull the fuck back. Close that account. If this is you, I love you. And I know why you did this. And I am not shading you. Okay, this is not to shade. This is to say, I know what you want and this is not it. So close that account. Okay? Cut out all the emotionally unavailable people you got floating around in your life, right? Because choices are intentions, people. Choices are intentions. So if you're choosing to hang out with emotionally unavailable people, guess what you're going to get more of? Emotionally unavailable people. Cut out all that crap. Okay? Make sure you yourself are emotionally available. And then just get out there and start connecting. And not for the sake of meeting the person. Connect with everybody. Connect with people you meet on the street, people you sit next to in the cafe, talk to the person next to you in the grocery line. Just be open, energetically open to meeting new people, and lightning can strike. And remind yourself that it is safe to be vulnerable. It is safe to love and to be loved, right? Even if, you know what, by some turn of events, by destiny, whatever, there's disappointment and hurt in the end. I know it's cheesy, but it's better to have love and loss than not loved at all. It's really true, you guys. I know it's a cliche, I get it, but it's better to love. Here's what I say to people who are afraid. And listen, I say this as somebody who was afraid to let love in for years. Okay. For years, I was afraid. Since my marriage ended in 2011, 2012. I was terrified to let love in. And I sabotaged it every single chance I got because I was too afraid to feel the pain of loss again. And it took a really long time. And let's just say I'm about 95% there. There's still some residual stuff I need to move through in order to be fully own it. But here's what I will say. All those years that I spent being emotionally unavailable to a healthy, loving relationship, to any relationship really, because I was afraid of getting hurt, were the most painful years of my life. They were painful. They were lonely. They were filled with all sorts of loss, not just relationship losses, okay? I'm talking all sorts of loss. And it was because I had closed myself off, so fearful that that hurt and that pain would happen to me again, okay? And, maybe it didn't happen all at once and as tragically, but it happens. It happens. It was very painful. I mean, I'm grateful for it because then, now I'm here talking to you guys today, right? But I could have saved myself a lot of heartbreak, a lot of disappointment if I had just opened to love. How much pain are you in today because you've closed yourself off? This is a real question that I want you to ask yourself. How much pain are you experiencing day in and day out because you've closed yourself off? Whether it's the pain of having to put up with emotionally unavailable partners, whether it's the pain of, still holding on to the hurt and resentment from the last guy, whether it's the pain of, wanting to be in a real loving, committed relationship and having an AI boyfriend because that's all you can, muster the courage to kind of commit to. There is so much more for you out there. And this is a message that came through for me when I needed it most. And it hit me like between the eyes, literally. There is so much more for you out there. You just have to be willing to go for it. Okay? So that is my invitation for you guys today. That is my 2 cents on the AI boyfriend. Honey, until you can ring a bell, he ain't my boyfriend. That's all I got to say about that. Okay, I love you guys. Until next time, massive love.